from the moment you were born, every single message you got, everything that was said to you, everything you heard, everything you saw, everything you did, everything you thought about, every message you got was typed into your personal computer keyboard. That would be our five senses. And then those messages typed into your computer keyboard were recorded on your CD-ROM in your brain. So very much like a computer, every message that you got while you were growing up gets recorded and stored permanently in the brain. The reason that's important to know is that part of the brain that recorded all of those messages you got, that part of the brain didn't know the difference between, and doesn't know the difference between something that is true or false or right or wrong or positive or negative. Its job is simply to record all of those messages that we got from other people, and then we began to repeat those exact same kinds of messages to ourselves, and that's called self-talk. There's something called the law of repetition, and the law of repetition is the secret to the secret of self-talk, and here's how it works. Every time you get a message and it's recorded again, it gets stronger. And then you get the message again, and it gets stronger still. So that those minor pathways in our brain that are being created by us getting different messages from the people around us, when those messages get repeated by someone else, and then to ourselves with our own self-talk, those pathways become roadways, and then the roadways become highways, and some of those highways become interstate highways, and those are the major programs that govern our lives. So whatever programs you have right now, that's who you are. That's who you've become. It's not that you were born that way. You were born with unlimited potential, but we become the programs that we get most. We all got programmed. I got programs. I remember one that I'll never forget that affected my entire life. It was my programs about weight. I used to weigh a great deal. And I tried every possible diet, and I said all of the wrong things to myself, and I thought this weight problem would never go away. I would try another diet. I actually got really good at dieting, but then the weight would always come back, and of course it would always bring its friends, and so I would fail at another diet. Well, at that time I was studying this thing called self-talk, and how Eastern European athletes who were competing in the Olympics had full-time self-talk trainers who were literally giving them new messages about themselves and how they can win, and what a winning, capable person they were. And I thought, if Olympic athletes can have full-time self-talk trainers to literally help them win gold medals, then what about the Olympics of weight loss, which was my problem? So I spent months writing brand new self-talk, and then had it recorded professionally in a recording studio. And I will never forget the day that I first got those new programs home, those self-talk cassettes. They were on cassettes in those days. And the first day I listened to them, I decided to play self-talk in the background. The sessions are only about 10 to 12 minutes in length. But I decided to play them while I was shaving each morning, and so that's what I did. Every morning I would shave and play the self-talk. Shave, play the self-talk. The next morning, shave and play the self-talk. And what happened was, during the next 10.5 weeks, I lost 38 pounds shaving and playing self-talk in the background. And this time, I wasn't on a diet. What was especially interesting to me was that during the same 10.5 weeks that I had been shaving every morning and losing the 38 pounds, during the same 10.5 weeks, my wife, who was putting on her makeup at the other end of the same mirror each morning, lost 25 pounds eavesdropping on my self-talk. That was a number of years ago. As a matter of fact, that was over 20 years ago. I've never been on a diet since. I never will be. And it was self-talk. I changed the problem. I changed the programs that had caused the problem in the first place. And since that time, because of that, I have written literally hundreds of self-talk programs on every possible subject, and that's why, as I've said, there are thousands of people listening to self-talk all over the world every day. My favorite of all of the programs I've written is certainly the Lifetime Library, and that's because it's a library of self-talk. It has self-talk for every possible circumstance in life. And then, of course, there is self-talk for weight loss, which I know what happened to me and how well it worked for me. I've seen that happen now for a lot of many other people since that time. There are also outstanding self-talk programs for people in business, people who want to reach goals. And there are great self-talk programs for kids. I happen to personally believe that there is no home that should be without self-talk, the right kind of self-talk for children. The reason so many people are listening to self-talk is because the law of repetition works. By changing their programs, they're changing their self-talk. By changing their self-talk, they're changing their futures. And by changing their futures, they're changing their lives.